The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
I went to the Maple Leafs game in Vancouver. That was something else for a lot of reasons, mainly because of the hockey that was being played. I want to talk about the most underrated Canuck player this season, because I think you may be a little surprised. And the fan experience in general. Man, oh man, it's a Sunday. It's late at night. We drinking a guru. Let's see what happens.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That's Kyle-E-B-H-A-W-A-N. More importantly, though, Trevor Beggs, my co-host, not with us, okay? He's in Alberta. What have I been telling you about Trevor over the last couple of weeks, okay? He likes his all-Canadian Angus beef, okay? He's in Alberta, hunting cows, bringing home the bacon, okay? He'll be back Tuesday, I think. Until then, we got to do this, okay? You and you and you and you and me talking only about the Vancouver Canucks, okay? The West Coast bias, true in effect here at the Don't Doze Art Lab. And I'm getting closer and closer to realizing that I don't give a beep. Oh, where's the beep button about what other narratives are going around in the league, okay? For real. What other teams are doing, it don't matter. I'm focused on this first place team getting it together so they can, be the best dancer at the dance. In other words, I'm ready for this team to compete for a Stanley Cup because I think it's going to happen. We'll also get to the comments throughout the episode because, man, oh man, a lot of people talking about the fan experience, the volume of the cheers coming from the Leafs fans being a little bit louder than the Vancouver Canucks fans. Hey, it is what it is. All I got to say to that is, again, look at the standings. I don't give a beep about the other teams, okay? Look at the standings. Right now, the Canucks doing the most to stay at the top of the league. They're a good team, a really good team. They've been a really good team for months and months and months and months. This season, it's different. Mainly because of the floor. We kept bringing that up day after day after day this week. I think it's because the lotto line ultimately did slow down, and here we are still winning games. And again, it's because of the floor. Maybe the most important part of that floor is Teddy Bluger. Because I don't know about you and you, but I feel like he was our best player last night. Yeah, Garland 2 goals. Yeah, Höglander 2 goals. But Teddy Bluger, that dude was perfect. Real perfect. And he's somebody I think about when Alvin talks about the pecking order, right? The UFAs not being able to sign them because, again, there's other contracts to sign. Filip Hronek, Elias Pettersson. You can't sign anyone else till you get those deals done. A guy like Teddy Bluger is making me think differently, okay? Because he feels like a guy you got to sign. You know how we say you got to sign Pettersson? You got to sign Hronek, for sure. RFAs, elite, all-stars. I feel as if you got to add Teddy Bluger to that list. More so than Dakota Joshua. That's just the truth. Am I tripping? Was I celebrating 422 early? I think I saw that being the truth. Teddy Bluger, the most important UFA you got to bring back. The most underrated Canuck this season. Keep in mind, too, when you replace Suter, that Suter, Garland, Joshua line, they were doing big things. He had big shoes to fill, and he did so immediately. What a player. And then you think about the comments, right? You talk about that article, Alvin McIntyre, last week. They talked about the pro scouting. They talked about the pro acquisition. They talked about who they brought in. They listed off all the names. But there was a couple more sentences for who? Teddy Bluger. He's that guy in the offseason. When they brought him in, yeah, we signed Cole, Susie, day one. But there was Patrick Alvin writing a speech about Teddy Bluger. It's that professionalism, right? It's that Pittsburgh way. It's that championship pedigree. The guy's real good. Now, I think some people will also tell me to be, cautious, right? He's playing for a contract as well, right? He's playing for the Canucks. He's doing his thing. He's helping his team out. But he is a UFA, and he probably wants a multi-year deal. He doesn't want to play the carousel game a lot. With a year like this, there's a good chance that this guy could get 3 or 4 years on that next contract. A lot is going on, man. We bring up the UFA narrative a lot. We bring up contracts a lot for the Vancouver Canucks. This season's so different. This season's so weird. So weird. How is this happening? Maybe it's happening because a lot of people, again, have a lot to play for. Teddy Blueger's not the only one looking for a contract. Maybe Alvin, Rutherford and company, Aquilini, they don't got to write checks. Let these guys play a little more desperate, until it's all said and done. Anywho, let me know again in the comments below if you think Teddy Blueger is the most underrated Canuck so far this season. Again, picking it up right away, replacing Suter, coming off an injury too. The guy's been really, really good. Who's the most important person on that no-name line, right? Garland, Joshua, Teddy Blueger? That's a good question. My answer again would be Teddy Blueger. Speaking of Garland, okay, what a tryhard. What a tryhard. You get inspired watching that guy play. I bet a guy like Niels Höglander learns a lot from watching Conor Garland. He's been watching Conor Garland for a couple years now. And both those guys proven once again that size don't matter, man. Size don't matter. I've been saying that for years. I've had to, okay? That's the religion. And those guys under 6 feet doing the most on Hockey Day in Canada were some of the best players on the ice when the ice was littered with all-stars. And I'm not surprised because they've been doing that all year long. And we talk about the floor, right? We talk about the depth of this team. Making us elite. I've been saying it so much, and I don't think it's me with the West Coast bias. And that being the only reason, again, why I'm saying this. But the Canucks are Stanley Cup favorites. It's because they're deep. We know, or we knew, that this team would be led by a lot of star players. We could predict that early on. Back in September, we had to because that was the only thing we could hold on to. Maybe we could get lucky. Maybe we could do really good if all those guys are at the top of their positions. Well, look, that happened, which is a miracle because everything is going right. Again, Brock Besser, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, Thatcher Demko, Filip Hronek, all towards the top of their class. That's a miracle. And then you got Teddy Blueger, Niels Höglander, Dakota Joshua, Sam Lafferty, even Niels Amon, Conor Garland, playing so well. So well. Conor Garland. I've been wrong so many times on this show so far. We talk every day, okay? We talk every day. Of course I'm going to be wrong. But one thing I'm happy about, and Trevor was on this boat too, okay? We did a couple episodes on trading Conor Garland. It was fun. And it was probably going to happen because cap hell and this guy wanted out. But we kept saying it. It made no sense in a season where so much matters, okay? Where success matters. It made no sense to get rid of a guy like Conor Garland without getting equal value back. And I'm not talking about in draft picks. I'm talking about in quality NHLer because the Vancouver Canucks of 2023/2024 had to be good. Had to be good. And Conor Garland on your team gives you a better chance at being good. So even though we asked for it, and we kind of asked for it too, collectively at times, I'm so glad that guy is not on any other team because we're what? Well, what's the record? 31-11-4. Do the math. I'm trying to do it. 46 games. I feel as if Conor Garland's been pretty damn good in 39 of those games. I feel as if he's been top 5 in each of those games when you consider the question, right? Who played best in this game? Conor Garland, the ultimate tryhard, always making things happen. I think he's been producing offensive chances, again, pretty much the whole season. Mid-October, late October, when he was on that line with Pius Suter, Dakota Joshua. They just been doing it. And we've seen it for 40 days now, right? The last 20 games, these guys pick up points. And right now, Conor Garland is scoring goals. Scoring goals. Here's a bold prediction. I think Conor Garland gets over 20 goals this season. I think he goes on a heater. Because, again, he's been producing chances the whole season, whether it be via the assist or, again, shots on goal. And right now he's on a heater. He scored a lot of goals over the past 6 games, 7 games. Well-deserved. Playing, I think when we look back at the season, 4 months from now, we'll look back at the season and be like, holy, how do you do this? He played way over his $4.5+ million value. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we did not expect. Again, everything going right. How is everything going right for the Vancouver Canucks? So what we do, I think we've been littering less, okay? Because something's in the air, man. Someone's looking after us. Conor Garland playing above contract value. How's that even possible, okay? Speaking of which, Nils Höglander, another guy playing way above value, 14 goals. I've seen some people talk about that second goal being a little lucky, right? Oh, that's something Martin Jones should have had. I don't know what y'all watching, man. That was a perfect goal. That was probably one of the nicest goals of the year. Somewhere in the top 100. Just look at it break down. The effort, I wouldn't say the fake pass, but the missed pass, and then to just rip it like that, that's unordinary. And I do think Nils Höglander is a bit of an unordinary player, if you consider the fact that we haven't seen anything yet. And I feel like we've seen something completely new. I guess what I'm trying to say is this. Remember back in the day, we drafted this guy, and all we saw were the GIFs, the highlights of what he was doing in Sweden? We've seen that, right? I think those types of things can happen more often, eventually. Yet, even though they're not happening right now, this guy is still a highly effective player. This guy's ceiling is high. I've compared this guy to who? Conor Garland. I've also compared him to Jake Ensel. That's something else. Anywho, I do want to talk about Kuzmenko. We'll talk about him in 2 or 3 minutes. Let's get through some of these comments first. Man, oh man, did somebody say they almost punched somebody at the dude? Okay, who is this? James. Are you going to go to jail for this? Was at the game. What I learned was when a Leafs fan dumps his beer on my girl, the guy gets clocked. Dude, are you going to jail because of Locked On Canucks, man? Did you punch somebody because they dropped beer on your girl? Did they do it on purpose? Sometimes accidents happen, man. We were scoring a lot of goals. I almost spilled my beer on somebody in front of me. We scored 6 goals. I hope it wasn't an accident, man. Holy. Would I punch somebody if they spilled beer on my girl? If it was an accident, hell no. She could punch him, okay? I'm not going to do it. That's jail, man. How about this, man? I'd rather have Garland than Besser. What are you smoking, dude? That's crazy. But hey, Garland's been playing so good. So good. Again, 46 games played. He's played really good in 39 of them. I feel like he's a top 100 NHL forward. Yo, what is happening this season? Mr. Whale. Anyone see anything good about the second line? Hit the post. Kuzi had a couple looks. Not too bad, right? Again, we'll talk about Kuzi in a couple of minutes, because I saw a couple things, and I think he's on his way to shove it up my rear end, okay? Because what did I say a couple days ago? I said this guy sucked. It is what it is. Prove me wrong. West Coast bias. Go Canucks, go. I don't got to be right. The Canucks have to be right. Anywho, let's talk about that in a couple minutes. I think we got to run a break and an ad. You're listening to Locked On Canucks.
I know we come to sports to escape some of the crazy realities of real life, but can we just talk for a minute about preparing for real life? According to the FDA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like amoxicillin right in the middle of one of the worst flu seasons in over a decade. This is scary. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than if Kyle or one of my other buddies got sick or couldn't get it up, while a supply chain issue kept them from life-saving medication or boner pills. Thankfully, we'll be okay because of Jase Medical. The Jase case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics that treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, among others. This stuff could happen to you, and it could even happen to you. So go visit jasemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. Save some money in 2024, okay? It's never been more important to be prepared than today. Health is wealth, baby. Go to jasemedical.com and use offer code LOCKEDON to get $20 off your first purchase.
We back on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. Again, this is the show that brings you only the West Coast bias. I think the kids say what? F the ops, okay? Screw everyone else. It's only about the Canucks, man. That's just the truth. I know you guys want to talk about Kuzmenko, man. So let's do it, okay? A couple days ago, what did I say? I said Kuzmenko sucked. I said he sucked. I've never said that about a player that's been on my team on air ever. I can't believe I did that, but it is what it is, okay? I talk every day. Things happen. And what does he do? I think he's a big part of why we won that game on Saturday, because the third period, Kuzmenko started dictating play and ultimately drawing, I don't want to say drawing penalties, because he wasn't the victim physically, on the ice, but the things that he was doing led to Toronto breaking down, and then again, doing the most, taking penalties, and we made them pay on the power play. Kuzmenko did the little things right, which obviously makes Tocchet feel good, right? The lesson is being learned, but it's also probably making him feel as if he does have a chance at the Jack Adams, because nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Oh, what a coach. What a performance. Like I said, everything is going right. A couple days ago, I also said Kuzmenko's getting scratched and Linus Karlsson gets called up, and we've seen this song and dance before. Kuzmenko's going to get scratched on Hockey Day in Canada. And what happened? That didn't happen. Again, we've been wrong so many times. Tocchet doing whatever it takes to get him going. And I think there was a quote right before Saturday's game where Tocchet admitted to coaching the hell out of Kuzmenko, adding more fuel to the fire, but I'm glad it didn't lead to that game against Toronto being another game where Kuzmenko was going to have to learn from the press boxes, right? He's already not confident. And he's going to get, replaced against the Maple Leafs by Linus Karlsson. That dude is boring. Imagine that shot to the ego. To a guy that's not really feeling it right now. It would be mission impossible to have him improve if all those things happen, and Tocchet pulls the plug on that, plays Kuzmenko, and Kuzmenko does the little things to help us get the win. And now the next phase of Kuzmenko's game, immediately, in my opinion, doesn't just have him do the same things, but it's for him to do the obvious, and that's contribute offense. Again, another scoreless game for Andrei Kuzmenko. The team scored 6 goals. And a guy you're playing $5.5 million is still assistless in almost, 2 months? 3 games left on this homestand. St. Louis, Chicago, Columbus. Kuzmenko, you got to pick up some points and do the little things. And yeah, maybe I'm asking a lot for a guy that's not confident right now, but let's be real, let's be honest. There's 30-something games left before the dance starts. The playoffs. Cup or bust, right? I was screaming that after the game. I said cup or bust. Cup or bust. Some people were telling me to shut up. I didn't care. Okay, I feel it. Cup or bust, Kuzmenko. It's time to go quickly, okay? Be dynamic, because if you ain't going prior to the trade deadline, a.k.a. a whole line isn't going, Mikheyev, Suter, Kuzmenko, there's no real second line on this team. If you don't count the Blueger line as a second line. If, again, the offense is not being produced, I've been saying this, and I think it may happen. I think Rick Tocchet, Patrick Alvin, Jim Rutherford, and company, more notably Francesco Aquilini, they'll be happy to get 2 of those guys. And 2 names were brought up, right? Gensel and Elias Lindholm, right? Calgary, Lindholm, Pittsburgh, Gensel. The Canucks are in on both of those guys. Bring in one of them here. They need help in the top 6. What if the Canucks make the decision to get 2 of those guys? Because I think there's the chance. They may go shopping big like it's Christmas. And I'm only saying this because they've already surprised us a couple of times. And the thinking in that room is, again, cup or bust. You got to capitalize on the fact that the floor is high. The depth doing the most. You also got to capitalize on the fact that this team has 5 All-Stars. There should have been 6 All-Stars on this team. Who else got that? Nobody. The Vancouver Canucks have the best big 6 in the league. Cup or bust. the feeling in that room, in that building. It's different. And maybe the fan base isn't feeling that yet collectively, but I do think we're getting sooner and sooner to that front office thinking like that. And if that's the case and Kuzmenko's not going, the Vancouver Canucks are going to bring in two top six players for their forward group. And maybe that's going to scare us, right? Because that's given up a lot to get those guys, but they may have traded that for a Stanley Cup. Dude, I'm smoking Canucks right now, okay? I'm smoking the Canuck pack. Look at me, delusional. But about the right thing, so who cares? Again, Locked On Canucks, man. Home of the West Coast bias, man. Look at this guy, Zarfi. This the year bowing. It's B-H-A-W-A-N, not B-A-W-A-N. It's okay, though. It's okay, though. I learned how to read, 5 years ago? I'm on the same boat as you. What other comments do we have right here? Man, oh, man. Do other people actually think the Canucks are going to bring in two top six players? I think so. The real AT Garland, he drives play on his own. You know, I was thinking about the people's comments about, again, the top six, not having anything behind the lotto line. I think there's a lot of truth to that, again, when Kuzmenko's not going, but maybe we should give Garland a lot more credit, like he's one of those players, you know? You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. James, did you get kicked out? We want to know, man. We really want to know. Did you get kicked out? I think people are confused, man. Why would I get kicked out? You have to do it smart. Did you punch somebody in the face, admit it, on Locked On Canucks? So the people's watching. The city's watching. You bold, man. I hope you get away with it, man. It is what it is. Don't blame me. Blame yourself, man. It's the internet. It's 2024, man. That's just the truth. Okay, got a lot of comments. We're going to read those in a couple minutes because I think the rules say I got to run one more ad. Again, here on Locked On Canucks, no Trevor Baggs, but he's the biggest reason why we get paid. Let's be honest. Let's be real. And let's keep talking about your Vancouver Canucks on the other side.
You know, we're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data. A matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates later. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employees agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality of matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. You know what I love about Indeed is Indeed, like I said, they're fast, okay? And guess what? When I'm in the bedroom, I'm fast too, eh? I'm going for the new world record. Let's go. Indeed might be a better fast than me, but, you know, with Indeed, you know, listeners of the show, I lost my point. Oh no, you get Indeed is fast, baby, and you can join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the show, guess what? You will get a $75 sponsored job credit.
Whoa!
To get more of your job's visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Okay, we back on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. More importantly, this is the show that brings you only the West Coast bias. One love to the Locked On Podcast Network. Also, one love to the Don't Doze Art Lab, man. Again, we keep saying that we only produce the West Coast bias. They're a big reason for that. You know, if you're going to change the world, you might as well start by changing the life of your neighbors, man. Good practice, right? Anyways, Vancouver Canucks talk. First place team. It's real. Cup or bust is the way I'm feeling. Cup or bust is the way they're feeling too. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Vancouver Canucks. So again, get that energy up. Get that energy up. And this is what we do at the end of the show, right? We always do the most to make sure that people don't worry, because I know this is new territory. It came out of nowhere. And when things like this happen, you kind of feel the trauma, right? You don't believe it. Imposter syndrome. You assume the worst is going to happen, right? Speaking of which, look at this guy, Zarfi Bear. Now we got to worry about the Jets, Vegas, Edmonton. You think I'm worrying about any team? We first place, bro. We first place. They got to be worried about us. Think about that. Look at the goal differential. Look at all the all-stars on our team. Look at the coach. Look at Rutherford. Look at Alvin. That's a lot of championship pedigree. They got to worry about us. We got to worry about Edmonton. I know they've won 13 straight, but they've lost 3 straight against us. They've gotten their asses kicked 3 times against us. We don't got to worry about anyone. That's not the West Coast bias speaking. That's, what does Jay-Z say, right? Numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard. Yo, who cares about the rest? We first place. We first place, man. We just looking for the cup. Anywho, Mr. Whale, how do we sign 2 more in the top 6? I guess you're trying to say, how do you trade for 2 more in the top 6? We'd have to be giving away Hoglander, Pod Colson, draft picks, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they're in position to get rid of Hoglander. That's not going to happen. They know that, again, it's cup or bust. They need the best of the best on their team. Try finding another Hoglander at that age, at that cap hit. Not going to happen. You're not getting rid of Hoglander. They've admitted that too. The other guys, Pod Colson, draft picks, yeah, they're on the block. They're on the block. It is what it is. Again, the Canucks are in first place. It's game 46. I mentioned this, a couple days ago. If the Canucks dominate on this homestand, which they're 2-0 in, they're going to go into the All-Star break working overtime. Alvin and Rutherford are going to be working the phones, and they're going to make a splash. Get a head start, again, on route to competing for the Stanley Cup. Zarf, man, replies with, I don't want to give up like Haramaki. There's a way to do it. I think there's a way to bring in 2 pieces into the top 6 who are true pros, doing it this season, no assumptions, guarantees. I think they can do it. I don't think they have to give up like Haramaki. Pod Colson on the block. Yo, I don't want to say Archie Baines because, Surrey, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? West Coast bias, Surrey bias. Trying to look out for my neighbors, but I don't think anyone is safe outside of Tom Willander, Niels Hoglander, and Jonathan Lekaramaki. You know what I'm saying? Wallach. I feel confident in Alvin and Rutherford. We just dropped that episode, right? The Canucks got saved by a 74-year-old. Beggsy and I, we talk about it a lot, right? 30 and a half years old. Erectile dysfunction already here. Maybe, who knows? It's our private life. And to see this guy lead the city at 74 years old, it's truly inspiring, man. It keeps us going. It keeps us hard. Whale, extend Alvin. It's going to happen. 5 days, 6 days, 4 days, maybe 10 days. It's going to happen. How about Daryl? Enjoy the journey. Don't talk about the cup. Be happy. For what? 2 rounds? Enjoy the journey. Okay, you can enjoy the journey. Do your thing, man. You can fan the way you want to fan. Enjoy the journey. Light a candle. Play the music, right? Live in the moment. I appreciate the Vancouver Canucks. Thanks for doing this. This is good enough. You fulfilled me. That's great. That's beautiful. I'm going to be on this side, and I'm going to be happy with this, but wanting more. And that's okay. That's okay. Because more is the dream, dude. I've never dreamt in my life to win 2 rounds. Never. Not once. That's just me, though. You can, again, light the candle, yo. Go for a walk. Go for a walk, man. Enjoy the journey. Go Canucks, go, man. It is what it is. How about Mr. Joker? Let's get Sidney Crosby and go all in. Bruh. Yo, anything is possible, man. Anything is possible. Crosby, what? His second home is Canada, right? People say that, right? Crosby's biggest goal of his life. Where was it? Vancouver. Crosby, contract over next year, right? Contract's over. Rutherford, Alvin, Tocchet. They love Penguins, man. We're the Vancouver Penguins. I think we have, 9 Pittsburgh Penguins on the team? Oh, what did I say the other day, right? Was I hearing... dude, you know what? That's a leak, dude. That's a leak. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to get the guy who told me that story, the story that I'm not finishing right now. I'm going to get that guy to get on the show and bring truth to it, okay? Because it's an interesting story in connection to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Anyways, Crosby, could he be a Vancouver Canuck? I'm betting $1 on it, okay? The odds are what? 1,000,000 to 1, but there's a chance, man. there's a chance. Mr. Whale, last comment. 2 rounds. And then you think he said GTFO? I know. Okay, again, anyone can fan the way they want to fan. If you're happy with the season, it's beautiful. Do your thing. One love. But again, nobody's dreaming of winning 2 rounds. That's not like Vancouver Canucks, the fans, 50 plus years, no Stanley Cups, 50 plus years, been past the second round 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Last comment. Honestly, it feels like this group has something special. I'm just so excited for this year. I think there's something special here too, man. I think they've been through a lot for years and years and years and years. All the ridicule, all the pressure, all the changes, being led by Jim Benning. That guy, you want to talk about, that guy sucked. You know what I'm saying? They've been through a lot, and now they're playing well, and it could seem like a fluke from afar, but when you look at the depth on this team, then also, again, look at the names of the superstars and where they've been for the most part over the last 2 years when it comes to being amongst the best of the best. We're talking about JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes. Like, they've been up there for a couple years. Thatcher Demko's been in that mix. There was always that thought that, again, if everything went right, who knows? Because a lot of teams don't have a big 6 like that, a top echelon of superstar players to that capacity, and we do. And right now they're all playing like they're on a mission. They're all playing as if they got something to prove, and more importantly, they're playing up to their potential, which is scary for the rest of the league. Again, this is why you can't worry, man. I don't want to see that in the comments ever again, man. We got to worry about the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers. Dude, who cares? They got to worry about us. They got to worry about us. That's it, though. Another episode of Locked On Canucks gone, just like that. One love to the people, one love to the comments. We doing this, man. West Coast bias. And we're happy to do it for you and you and you and you. My name is Kyle Bowen. More importantly, my co-host Trevor Beggs not with me because, again, man, he's hunting cows, man. He's hunting cows in Alberta. Big fan of that Angus Canadian all maple beef, right? That's what they call it, right? That's what it is, right? I think so. Anyways, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. I don't know when you're listening to this, but hey, we appreciate it. Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network,